Hi, this is Steven Spangenberg, and welcome to the webinar. This is a webinar for the IRS Survival Guide, how to avoid or survive an IRS audit for home-based business owners. And just a little bit about myself to start off this webinar, because it's important to know who you're talking to. Um, I started my tax business when I was 14 years old. My dad was a CPA, my mom was a bookkeeper. I had no choice in the matter. It's just like Tiger Woods, they handed him a golf club. Well, I got handed a calculator and I went on from there. My dad taught me how to do taxes by practicing on his taxes and my aunts and my uncles' taxes. And when I got to be 16 years old, I said, wow, this is crazy because I'm not getting paid. So my mom had an Avon lady, and I went over on my bicycle one day and I knocked on her door and I said, Molly, can I do your taxes? And she said, sure. So when it came to tax time, I went over and I knocked on her door again, and we sat at her kitchen table and did her taxes, which included her Avon taxes. So I'm 50 years old and I've been doing taxes for 36 years, and primarily for people in home-based businesses, which include anything from Avon to Mary Kay to Zango. They're usually direct sales, multi-level, network marketing, whatever you want to call it. The fact is that they're home-based and they have to do with sales of products and services in a tiered environment where you can make money from sponsoring or recruiting people into your business, as well as retail sales of your products. Well, with that being said, that's a bit about me. I've been doing, like I said, taxes for 36 years, and I have clients all over the United States. And I wrote a book called The Income Tax Reduction Guide for Home-Based Business Entrepreneurs. And in that guide, I put a section called Before You Begin. And this is before you can start taking all the wonderful tax deductions that we all hear about. The reason I put it in the front of the book is because you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to be in business and to comply with the IRS. So I put three general things down there to get people prepared. And before I go into those, the reason for this webinar is because I've been finding out that people are not prepared to survive or even to avoid an audit. Now, I can tell you up front that I cannot guarantee that you'll never get audited. Please make that note. I cannot guarantee that you'll never get audited. However, there are strategies to put in place that you can avoid getting audited. And those are the things I'm going to talk about in this webinar, is how to avoid those things. And then also, if you happen to do get audited, what to do in that particular sense. So let's just look on this slide. And now, is this how you feel when you hear the word audit? So let that sink in for a little bit. I mean, if you say the words audit or IRS or taxes, do you start feeling like this guy? And most people do. I talk to many people, and all I hear, even in another country, down in Australia, they have the same things with taxes, where people are just, they're just tired of the tax game. So what we're going to start out with first is really what the IRS is targeting. And the reason why the IRS is really targeting anybody is because they're out of money, and we'll cover that a little bit later. But let's look at what the IRS is looking for. They call these things the dirty dozen, and this is right on their website. This is right on the IRS's website that says these are the things that we're going to target. And I'll go through these rather quickly. First, the dirty dozen is too much money. So they're looking at people that make a lot of money, because if you only make $10,000 a year, the IRS can only get so much money out of you. So that just Basically needs no more explanation that yes, they target people that make a lot of money. Second thing is people that fail to report all income. Now, this I've been saying this for years and years and years and years. Report every dime of your income, every penny of your income, report it all, because the IRS has tracking devices in place to find out where your income. So if I'm in business and I pay one of my contractors over $600, I got to give them a 1099, and that gets reported to the government, and then the government does a matching process to see that if that money is on their tax return. So you cannot get away from automation and just report all your income. The next thing, number 3, is taking large deductions for charity. Now, we all like to give to charity, and charities love us to give to them. But if you make $10,000 a year and you give $8,000 to charity, you're going to get looked at, sorry to say. But, we have things in place. You can do things that will, if you do have a large amount, like people that tithe, that's fine. You make $50,000, you give $5,000 to your church, make sure you have a church statement. And this is very simple, because most of these type audits to do with charity, they just want to see your documentation that you've given that money. Next thing, claiming the home office deduction. Now, I have they target people that do claim the home office deduction. I have a little bit of an argument with people that say, oh, if I claim the home office deduction, I'm going to automatically get audited. No, nobody automatically gets audited. If you abuse the home office deduction, well, then you deserve to get audited. But just claiming the home office deduction doesn't mean you're going to get audited. It just means the IRS is going to look a little bit more at your return. The next thing, claiming rental losses. Now, folks, this has been since I started doing taxes, and I started, studying accounting and whatnot. Is always, the rental losses are a tax shelter. Everybody knows that. And in fact, they are limited. Your rental losses are usually limited to $25,000 a year, so they have a limit on it anyway. So if it's continual, of course you're going to get looked at. The next thing on the IRS Dirty Dozen is travel, meal, and entertainment deductions, because this is where everybody pads things. It's silly. They try to write off everything under the sun, and if they go out and have a cup of coffee, and especially people in direct sales, and I go over this in my tax reduction guide, that just because you go out to have a cup of coffee and hand the waitress or waiter your business card, you can't write off that coffee. That's just silly. There has to be a business intent behind it, and you have to have documentation. So if you want to write off meals and entertainment, do it the right way, not the IRS Dirty Dozen way. So the next thing is claiming 100% use of a vehicle. Now, this has come up in recent years that yes, look, I know people that have every right to claim 100% of their vehicle as a business deduction. That is not in question. The question is, the IRS kind of looks at your return and says, hey, this is 100% business use. Let's look a little further. So I say to people, look, even if your Mary Kay car, for example, is 100% tax deductible according to the IRS and according to myself, and it's been proven in an audit that I've been through, certainly just put a little bit of business, put a little bit of personal use there, and avoid the look. So that's the one strategy you can use. It's not going to cost you a whole lot of money to do that. The next thing, number 8, is writing off a loss for a hobby. We're going to talk in detail with this. We'll just go over that right now. We'll just go to the next one. 9, running a cash business. While they look at restaurants, people who is very easy to stuff cash in their pockets, hair salons, things like that. Look, it's It's like I said, if you run a full-time hair salon and you're only showing $8,000 worth of gross sales, they're probably going to have a look at you. Failing to report a foreign bank account. This is, for some, if you have a foreign bank account with $1 in it or whatever, they're not going to get too upset. Just, send in your form that says, yes, I do have a foreign bank account. They're just looking for offshore money. And the recent amnesty programs and that you read about in the paper, they're trying to find all these people in Costa Rica or whatever. This is the reason why. Engaging in cash transactions over $10,000. If you ever purchased a big asset and you gave them cash, you had to fill out an IRS form because the IRS wants to know what you do with your cash. Isn't that funny? So, not really. But taking higher than average deductions. This goes back to, they used to call them lifestyle audits. And, well, if I'm only making $50,000 and once again I give 20 of it to charity, or if I only make $50,000 and I have $26,000 worth of mortgage interest, it doesn't equate. Where are you getting money? And that's what the IRS is trying to figure out. How can you survive? How can you live a lifestyle on that? It's very subjective, this particular one. We can spend a whole seminar on that. The focus of this webinar, however, is writing off a loss for a hobby, and it goes back to this notion of, look, if you're in business or you're in a hobby, and direct sales has notoriously been targeted for years and years and years. It's just a hobby. You're just piddling around in this business, and you're really not in business. That's what we're here to talk about today. So it really helps to know why we're having these troubles with the IRS as far as them going crazy and saying, hey, I'm just going to start auditing people. Really, it's no new rules that there's no new rules that are in effect that target these dirty dozen things, nor are there any new rules in effect that target hobbies versus businesses. It's just the fact that, like this slide here, the government is broke. The only way that the government can raise money is by taxes, and if they don't have enough money to run the government, they're just going to tax people more. And the business versus hobby rules have, it's just low-lying fruit for the IRS. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people in the network marketing direct sales industry that do write off substantial losses, and really, at the end of the day, they really don't treat it like a business. And so it's an easy target for the IRS. It's been a long time on the IRS books. Now, generally, I wrote a book called The Income Tax Reduction Guide for Home-Based Business Entrepreneurs, which sold well over 5,000 copies. And to be quite frank, a lot of people probably didn't even look at the first section, which is called Before You Start. And generally, the IRS, when determining whether you're in business or you're in a hobby, looks at three things. They look at intent, activity, and record keeping. And these are the things that I went into in my book then, and we're going to be going through these things now as a part of this webinar, and we're going to be touching on these things. The main thing, and I'm not going to beat around the bush with a lot of things or a lot of fluff. I don't believe in that. I believe in getting right to the point. Okay. The main thing that the IRS is looking at is, do you have the evidence that you're engaged in this business for a profit? Okay. Is there enough evidence? If I look at your date book, if I look at your activity, if I look at your set of books, if I look at your bank account, is there enough evidence there to convict you of being in business? And if the answer is no, then we have some work to do. If the answer is yes, Steve, I got everything together, well then just keep looking through this and see if you can pick something out of it. However, what we have to do is we have to do what big businesses do. We have to lay out strategies. We have to have plans. We have to have a business plan. We have to act like a business. Now, unfortunately, you know, I used to work for some really big companies, so a Fortune 500 company, and, you know, they deferred taxes as long as they could. You know, my job was to push off these things and use strategies to pay less in tax. However, you know, the government looks at these, you know, home-based businesses and such. We do get a lot of latitude in what we can take, but we really got to set it up. We got to set this up so that we're in business to profit. And you know what? I believe that if you follow the things in here that to be compliant with the IRS, you're going to be in profit. And then we just minimize your taxes. Okay, questions for you. Number one, do you have a business plan? Is it written? Do you update it regularly? These are things that, you know, these are questions that are the hard questions. You know, businesses have business plans. And, you know, what I'm doing is, what prompted this whole thing was an audit that was done on one of my previous clients, and I got all the notes from the auditor, and they went right down the line with these points that I'm going to be covering in this webinar. And really, honestly, it's going to be full on as far as what you're going to get, the information that you're going to get here. And what they're looking for is, do taxpayers, that's you and I, carry on our activity like a business? And that means, do we have these things in place? Do we have a business plan? Is it written? Okay. Do we update it regularly? And that is not, you know, updating it once in a while or when you feel like it, or when the mood strikes. And in addition to that, the IRS is looking for you, once again, to digress, they're looking for you to treat the activity in a business-like manner that includes your business plan, and also means keeping proper books. A lot of people that I do taxes for, you know, they just hand me a piece of paper with numbers written on them. I mean, that's just not going to cut it in the end. And like I said, a lot of people have my book, but, you know, have you read the book? And what you want to do is create that business plan, create an annual budget, break-even analysis, things like that. And that moves us into learn how to speak IRS. And right in front of me, I have the language that the IRS uses. And if you can use their specific language, and mimic that back to them in your business plans and your budgets and your break-even analysis, you formulate your business around their speak. They cannot argue with their own words. If you feed it back to them and said, yes, Mr. Auditor, I did this, and this, I cannot argue with that. It would be impossible. It would be like, if your dad told you you have to eat 2 Oreo cookies every night by 7 o'clock, and you wrote down, yes, I ate 2 Oreo cookies by 7 o'clock, and I did that. You can't argue with that. And if you use specific language, once again, you can't argue with that language. And you look at things like in this audit says the taxpayer did not maintain a contemporaneous mileage log. So look up what contemporaneous means and do what they want you to do. I always said, if the IRS wants you to look like a nut and you look like a nut, you have no problem. If they want you to look like a nut and you look like a banana, then they're going to have a problem. So we need to learn these words. Words like business plan and update, tie these together. Budget, break even, goal setting. They even put in there about goals. One of the languages in this audit said the taxpayer did not have a specific goal in place as to how to make profit. Profit. I see people set goals and they say, I want to make $10,000 a month. Well, that's fine, all right? But here we are, we want to be compliant with the IRS and we want to make money. But they're looking at making profit. So in your business plan, I have a goal to make $10,000 profit. Learn how to speak IRS, give them what they want. The business plans, the break-even analysis, all those good things. Give them what they want, and you have no problem sailing through. Now, the next thing that the IRS looks at is the expertise of the taxpayer in the area. Now, as direct salespeople in multi-level marketing, we have a problem with that, is that most people come out of corporate America and they do direct sales or network marketing on the side. And, we're not experts in business. A lot of people, this is their first business venture, so they're not even an expert in business, let alone in direct sales industry. So I'm going to read this specifically for you. It says that preparation for the activity by extensive study or its accepted business, economic, and scientific practices, or consultation with those who are expert therein, may indicate that the taxpayer has a profit motive. Okay? They're looking for profit motive. When you do trainings, when you consult with people that are in your industry, if you go to seminars that are in your industry, I was at an internet marketing seminar last week. So what do I do about that? I document that, yes, I'm in the part of my business is internet marketing, and I went to this seminar to learn how to make profit. And once again, you're using the language, the language around what the IRS says. Yes, I am going there to learn to make profit. And now, and this is really comes down to, how serious are you about your business? Or are you going to take it seriously and get trained? I mean, just hanging out at your upline's house on a Saturday afternoon is not training. Okay, it may be fun, but it's not training. And also, documenting these in your business plan. Everything starts with your business plan. You say, I'm gonna go to trainings to learn how to make profit, do all these things, and it just filters through to your end goal, which is to make profit. And once you're in profit, okay, you're gold. So my objective here in this webinar, I'll state it again, is to get you compliant with the IRS. And in doing that, we're going to start making profit. You're going to be more profitable. You're going to put more money in your pocket. You're going to be very, very, very happy, and you don't have to worry about these things. One of the other the general things that I put in my income tax reduction guide was the activity, the level of activity that you put into your business. Do you actually put enough activity in your business to show a profit? Now, I'm going to just bang this MLM thing and network marketing thing and say, you cannot do that on 5 to 10 hours a week. I'm sorry. You just can't do it. It takes more than that. So what is the amount of time that you're spending? And the way we prove these things, you see the IRS puts out these rules and then you have to show evidence. The way we show evidence of time spent is by our date book. And if you go to your date book right now and open it up, does it mirror your bank account? If it's empty and your bank account's empty, well, that's a sign. If your date book's full, your bank account's usually full as well. Because the more activity you do, the higher your chances of making a profit are. Period. Okay? And they're looking at, how much time you spend in it. I mean, if you're spending a couple hours, you're not really serious. And how do you prove this intention? And really, you know, your intention is to make a profit, how do you prove that? You prove that by having business plans and budgets and updates and activity. Every time you do something for your business, write it in your date book. Write it in your date book. Write it in your date book. That's what the IRS is looking for. They're looking for the activity. Okay? This is very simple. Very simple. So the next thing that we want to talk about is a real easy one. The expectation that assets used in the activity may appreciate in value. That really, the only thing I can say about that is that, the people I'm talking to on this webinar are direct sales and network marketing. And the only thing that we do is we build downlines, and that's an asset that you can actually sell. So, once again, in your business plan, you're going to have in there that, you have a two-prong approach. You have retail sales and then also team building. Team building is an asset that can grow in appreciation. Very simple. We'll, show you how to do that in my extensive course. Basically put that all together for you. Okay, the next thing that we want to talk about, similar activities. Once again, this is a very gray area. Okay, does have you made profit in similar activities before, et cetera, et cetera. This one we're really not going to discuss on this webinar as far as that goes. Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is your track record. This is kind of an odd one because we all start out, if we're in direct sales, we come out of corporate America and we're doing this on the side, we have no track record. So my advice to people who are just starting out in direct sales, let's build a good track record. If you have been showing losses year after year after year in direct sales, then we have to really shore up your business straight away, because the IRS looks at, they give you a little bit of a break. A series of losses during the initial or startup stage of an activity may not necessarily be an indication that the activity is not engaged for profit. However, if losses sustained beyond the period which is customarily necessary to bring the operation to profit, if they keep going, they're going to say, hey, you keep losing money. Why would you continue to do something that loses money? You must just be in it for the fun of it. And that's really where a lot of people go off the rails, is that, for years, I'm talking, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, they've been showing losses. And really, that's just not going to cut it at the end of the day. And we really have to get our head around the fact that, we got to start making profit. It's not all, we just can't keep muddling along with this. And the one thing that I must say that really is dangerous is that I see a lot of tax returns that have no sales. So, $10,000 worth of losses or $5,000 worth of a loss, but not one sale. When I was in Amway way back in the day, I sold stuff to my parents. That counted as sales. I sold stuff to my brother. That counted as sales. And those were sales. But there's people that are not even making any sales whatsoever to anybody. Okay? And that's really, really, really bad. The thing that we have to focus on as business people is we have to make sales. We have to earn income, gross income. Now, the factor that I'm going to talk about next is the element of recreation in your business. Now, look, I know a lot of people, when I was in Amway, look, I didn't make a whole lot of money, but I had a whole lot of fun. So if anybody sat me back in 1989 and said, hey, why are you doing this business? There was a fun component to it. I tried like heck to make money, it just didn't work for me. But that's really a lot of people are in it for the fun. I mean, and if you're on this webinar and you say, "Well, that's me," really, you shouldn't be writing off any losses on your return. It's just not gonna cut the mustard at the end of the day. So, are you in it for business? You can have fun, but be in it for business and do the things that are necessary to do that. Now, I know I went over a lot of these things very, very quickly, but you can replay this and listen to it again. The fact of the matter is, go over those general things, and really, it all starts with your business plan and how that carries through your business. Now, if you didn't get something from this webinar, just email me, okay? Just email me. My address is up on the screen, and say, "Hey, Steve, it wasn't worth my time. Give me something to chew on." Now, I'll send you something. I'll send you maybe a business plan template. You can have a look at it and see if you can shore up your business that way. But there's a lot of things that you have to do. It doesn't happen overnight, and that's where the opportunity comes in right now. Is that I want to give you the opportunity to be compliant with the IRS. And I want to give you the opportunity to be in profit. That's really, really what I want to do. Because it can cost you thousands of dollars if the IRS went back on your books and disallowed all your losses for the last 3 years. This person is paying thousands of dollars back to the IRS. Let's get this stuff straight. Let's get you compliant, and let's get you in profit, okay? That's why I came up with my 9-week intensive course. It's called the IRS Survival Guide. It's 9 workbooks, 9 audios that go step by step by step by step over all these things, how to be compliant with the IRS and ultimately be in profit. Because if you do all these things that the IRS wants you to do, you cannot help but be in profit, because you're going to be doing the mechanics of your business day in and day out and get the benefits. The benefits are get the proper mindset for profit. Most people don't make money because they don't believe they can. They don't have the mindset around it. Learn the IRS language. Learn what that looks like. Write a proper business plan. Proper. And then write a behavior plan for profit based on your business plan. Because what you do every single day, the habits that you do, will either make you broke or put you in profit. And if you're broke right now, the daily things that you do are putting you in brokenness. Okay? More benefits. Learn how to document all your activity. Take the activity for profit. Okay? Do the things that are necessary to get profit. What trainings are you to do? That's very, very vital. What kind of things do the IRS consider training, personal development in your industry and for your particular company? And then how to become an expert in your company. Be that person that is a student of your business and an expert in your company, so that you can excel in profit and you can show to the IRS, yes, I know what I'm doing here. I've been trained. I know what I'm doing in this business. Okay? More benefits. I cannot believe it. I'm going to look at your taxes, look at your tax return and review them and see where the holes are. Review and revise your books or create books for you. A checklist for all the logs necessarily. Mileage log, travel log, meals and entertainment log. Okay? Those things are vital. If you don't have those, straight away, if you don't have a mileage log, you're done. Period. Okay? How to produce financials easily. Look, I'm not going to turn y'all into bookkeepers, but you got to have a set of books and some financials so that you can show to the IRS that you're serious. You are like a business person. Take it seriously. They do financials, okay? You do too, okay? So, I mean, that's just a whole lot of intensive things in 9 weeks. You're going to get a workbook. I'm stretching it over 9 weeks because you're going to do work in between. Okay, it's not going to be like an ebook. Oh, here's your ebook and then set it on the shelf. No, you got homework to do in between. We got to build you up to be compliant with the IRS. Okay, and to start making profit. Are you tired of not making profit? You tired of showing losses yet? Okay, or increase your income. All right, are you tired of the level that you're at? That's the only thing. This course is only, okay, I mean, I could have charged thousands for this course, but this course is only $197, okay? I wrote the income tax reduction guide and I sold that at $397 all day long, okay? Now, if the IRS comes and audits you today and you have to pay back your losses, how much is that going to be? I can guarantee you, looking at some of the returns I've done, it's going to be thousands. $197 investment to protect thousands of dollars. That's called a return on investment, people. Okay? How good do you want to sleep at night? How much money do you want to put in your pocket? Okay? When someone says the word IRS, you have no problems. Okay? Because you're in profit and you're compliant. But wait, there's some bonuses. Okay? Bonus number one. This bonus is thousands. Okay, get my coaching time, up to $500 an hour. I'm going to give you 1 full year of unlimited email support to answer your specific questions. Okay, then on top of it, I'm going to give you the income tax reduction guide to save thousands of dollars on your taxes. Remember, I sold that guide for $397. And I'm giving it to you free on this call. Now, if you're one of my clients and say, Steve, I already have that, well then, rate it. Let's do it. Okay? Take advantage of it. If you're my client, you're already saving heaps of money. We just got to get you compliant, and that's really good. So, bonuses, well into the thousands of dollars, only $197 for this course. And this is a 9-week course that you can go back. You're going to get, you're going to get the workbook in a PDF format. You print that off. You get the audio just like this, like you're receiving today. You can go back. You can rewind it. You can not rewind, but you move that little bar, and you can play it over. If you don't understand something, you go over it again. If you don't understand it again, you email me. I mean, let's go, people. Let's get this direct sales, multi-level marketing, network marketing. Let's get this industry up and running good so that we're not a target anymore. So the IRS says, hey, there's no sense in going after these guys because they're compliant. Is that fair enough? Okay. $197. What you want to do is go right now to the website, www.howtosurviveirs.com. It's www.howtosurviveirs.com. Go there, get the course while it's still $197. I'm not going to play any games like the price is going to go up Monday or anything like that. Just go get the course. Do yourself a favor. There's millions of people that can buy this course and that can benefit from this course. The only question is, are you going to be the next person that comes into compliance with the IRS? And are you going to be the next person that creates a profit in their business? Until then, take care. Okay, now with that being said, we could spend hours and hours going over these things again. But if you did not get exactly, if you didn't get enough information from this webinar, you think, wow, Steve, you didn't give me a whole lot to work on. Just email me. Just email me at esuccessnet@yahoo.com and say, hey, I don't feel that this was worthwhile. Can you give me something, give me something more to chew on? Look, I have no trouble doing that. I appreciate constructive criticism. And, if you just want to email me and say that I'm a dork, well, that's not constructive. That you might as well just go on and just call me a dork and move on. So what I want to offer for you is an opportunity. This is your opportunity. Like I said, I've coached people in business. I've coached people in direct sales. I've coached people in multi-level marketing. I coach people in just normal businesses. Not to say that direct sales is not normal, but traditional is probably a better word. And look, I've had successes with people that did, as I say, not that I know everything, it's just that I've been around the block for a long time. I'll give you an example. I had a lady in Mary Kay that for 8 years, she only sponsored 8 people. 8 years, 8 people. Sat down, coached her for 30 days, and the next 30 days she sponsored 8 more people. Now, that's a turnaround, okay? That is a turnaround, and really a lot had to do with her mindset around sponsoring people, her mindset around money, her mindset around profit, her mindset around being in business. And that's really the whole crux of it. I was just listening to a recording, How to Have Wealth Without a Job, and one of the things that I really picked up was that a guy coached this lady, and she said, well, I spend 2 hours a day on my business. He said, fantastic, spend an hour of it doing mindset training. He said, what? No, spend an hour doing mindset training, because if we don't have our mind right, we'll never go. Look, I didn't have my mindset right for 10 years and I never lost weight. Once I got my mindset right, once I got in the right frame of mind, I lost 95 pounds in a year and a half, and I've kept it off for 3 years. It is very hard to do things when you do not have the proper mindset. So let's go over, exactly what this course is going to be. This is going to be a course that's going to go over 9 weeks. 9 weeks, okay? This isn't going to be something I'm just going to give you an ebook and say, well, there you go. There's your ebook. Go and study it, and you'll never pick it up again. Half the people that I sold ebooks to didn't even print it. Okay, used to sell $27 ebooks to people and they didn't even print it. In fact, sorry to say that most people that I sold my book to, the Income Tax Reduction Guide for Home-Based Business Entrepreneurs, a vast majority of them didn't even read it. Okay, they bought it. They bought it for $397. All right, $397. And they didn't even open the book. So with that being said, 9 weeks, we're going to go into 9 facets of IRS compliance. Now, this is not going to be like an insurance seminar. This is going to be 9 weeks. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get a workbook for each stage of IRS compliance. So you're going to get a workbook, and you're going to get an audio with just like this, where you can pull it up on the screen, and we're going to go over step by step by step so that you can pause it, you can look in your workbook, and we're going to space this out over 9 weeks, because in between the modules, all right, you're going to have to do work, okay? You're going to have to do work. And that is, it's going to be full on, as they say down in Australia. It's going to be full on, and we're going to go over everything. We're going to go over how to write a business plan, exactly what to put in your business plan for your specific direct sales company. Now, look, there's very few direct sales companies that I have never worked with. So if you're thinking out there, oh well, has he worked with Zango and does he understand my business? Oh, I understand your business more than you think I understand your business. The question is, do you understand your business and do you understand how to make a profit? And I'm going to be real harsh here, but it is what it is. If you're not in profit now, how can you tell someone else you can't help me make a profit because you haven't made a profit yet? All right? My plan, my intention is to get you in profit. That's why we're going to do 9 weeks. We're going to go over how to get a business plan. We're going to go over how to document your activity. What are you going to be doing on a daily basis to document your activity? Go over every facet of your business. And one of the things that that I was working with a coaching client is she wanted to go to directorship in a particular company. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. You want to be a director, right? Yes, yes, Steve, I want to be a director. I said, how do you get to be a director? I don't have cricket sound. I don't have the cricket sound, so I just have to go. Okay, that's what we got. We got crickets. Okay, she set a goal. I want to be a director, but she had no idea how that happens. Okay, I'll give you an example. I know this is not specifically correct for anyone's industry. If I want to be a director in, say, company AYZ, XYZ, I have to sponsor 6 people, and those 6 people have to sponsor 2. That gets me to be a director. Now, that is a plan. I have to sponsor 6, and those 6 have to sponsor 2. That's a plan. We can work with that. We can say, okay, this is our behavior. What kind of behavior it takes to sponsor 1 person, and just repeat that 6 times, and then help those 6 people sponsor 2. Okay, that's a plan. Those are the kind of things that should be in your business plan. Teach you how to document your activity. Then we also teach you how to get your books up to snuff so that, yes, an IRS auditor can look at your tax return and work backwards and say, okay, here's this number on this tax return. This is how I got. These are my set of books. And once again, how do you use your books? The IRS looks at how do you use your books to improve profit or to get to profit. Are you looking at a monthly income statement? How many people, it's, coming up towards the end of a month here, and when it clicks over to like the 2nd or 3rd of the new month, how many people on this call can tell me exactly what their profit or loss was for the month previously? If you cannot tell me that number, you are in trouble, I'm sorry to say. So, this is what the course looks like. It's the IRS Survival Guide, and basically it mirrors this course here: how to avoid or survive an IRS audit for home-based business entrepreneurs. You're going to get 9 weeks. You're going to get 9 workbooks, 9 audios that go through the workbook page by page. Okay, page by page. Now, I used to sell my income tax reduction package for home-based business entrepreneurs for $397 all day long. Okay, because I looked at that. People look at that course and say, I can save the average person $1,000 to $2,000 per year that they're in business. So if I can save you $2,000 in taxes the first year that you use this guide, and you're paying $397 for it, you've got a return on your money. Okay, the first year. Okay, this is what we look at. And you say, okay, Steve, I ask you this question, I'll ask you this question. If you were to get audited today and they wiped out all your losses, how much money would that cost you? If you had even a $4,000 loss last year, okay, $4,000 loss on your taxes, which is not unreasonable, believe me, $4,000, and if you're in the 20% tax bracket, that's $800. that you would have to pay back to the IRS. $800 you'd have to pay back plus a 10% penalty, $80, because even in this audit that I'm looking at, I mean, they smacked this person with a 10% penalty. That's $880 you'd have to pay back just from 1 year, and they're not going to look at just 1 year. If you had losses 3 years like that, you're talking over $2,500. How much is it worth to avoid that? How much is it worth to avoid that financial setback? Okay? And, you know, I could charge easily $397 for this course. This is a far more comprehensive course than my book was. Okay, easily $397. I'm not going to charge $397 for it. I'm not even going to charge $297 for it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to charge only $197 for this 9-week course. $197 to shore up for the rest of your business career that you got your ducks in a row, that you don't have to worry about the IRS, and that you don't have to worry about being in profit. How much is it worth? You know, look, I charge $250 to $500 an hour to coach somebody how to make a profit. All right, one-on-one coaching. All right, over up to $500 an hour. I'm going to give you 9 workbooks for $197. Why? Because I want people to be in profit. I want people to have a success story. I want people in this industry, in direct sales. I've been in this industry since I've been 14 years old. Okay? I want people to thrive and be successful. So stop $197. I'm going to throw in a bonus here. I don't know why. This is crazy. This is going to just talk about not getting leverage, but I'm going to do this. You're going to get this course, and I'm going to allow you to email me questions. Now, I'm going to sell this course to literally thousands of people. Thousands of people. I'm going to allow you to email me questions for a year after you buy this course. A year that you can ask me questions. Hey, Steve, I'm doing this. What do you recommend? What do you think? Help me out a little bit. Okay? So email me a question and say, okay, I'm going to answer that question for you. All right? And that bonus alone is worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. To get somebody to give you that kind of attention and that kind of advice, personal advice for that. So with that being said, it's $197, and I'm going to put that on the slide here. This is where you go to invest in your future. Really, this is not a cost. This is investing in your future so that you shore up your tax returns, make sure everything is good with those, you be compliant with the IRS, and start making profit. That's what we're in business for. We're not in business to have fun and to do this and do that. We're in business to make a profit. And when you realize that, that's when you're going to start making a profit, and you can have fun along the way. Look, I have fun in my business and I make a profit. This is fun for me. All right? But my purpose, my focus is profit. Got to feed the family, I like to drive a nice car, I like to live in a nice house, I like to go on vacations. That takes money. Money comes from profit in my business. So with that being said, I hope that if you don't buy my course, that you're in profit and you got some value from the webinar. Otherwise, go to the order page and get my course. And look, if you say to me, Steve, you get this course and 30 days later you say this is just a bunch of rubbish, fine. Just email me back and say, give me back my money. I don't want your money. I want your success story. So with that being said, here's to your success. This is Steven Spangenberg, home-based business tax expert, signing off for today. Take care and be in profit.